Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Leland Baptist. I have my amazing co-host with me, Mr. Hunt. How are you doing, sir?
Man, listen, after Thanksgiving, I'm about 5 pounds heavier than I wanted to be, but I'm still blessed. I'm still blessed. I'm not worrying about it because I know what I need to do to get rid of this five and the five that's a cousin.
So we got a full belly and a full heart, right? After
Hey,
Thanksgiving.
and you know, and my brain is full. I think that's the key piece.
So, what do we want to touch on briefly today with people that are quote unquote doing something new, or they know they have to do something different to get a result that maybe they've never obtained before?
You know, that Leland, that's an interesting question because we talk about people doing something new. And I've come to realize that if they do better at whatever it is that they're already doing, if they would really do it and
Mm-hmm.
not play with it,
Mm-hmm.
that they would be more successful each and every day. In fact, I think it was some years ago, someone was talking to Iverson about practice. He's a basketball player. He's now out of the he's I think he's now I think he's in the Hall of Fame. And he said, practice? What is practice? So I say that to say, we got people who've got all of the skill, they got the education, they've got the support, and they've got the resources to make a difference in their lives and the lives of other people.
Mm-hmm.
But they're stuck in neutral.
Mm.
And I sit back and I think about it because I've been there. I know what it's like to feel that the walls are closing in on you and there's no place to turn. But some of that was self-inflicted. And it was self-inflicted because I was suffering from stinking thinking. Okay. And if we're not careful in life, I think what we will do is we will start to reflect on something that happened in our lives. And it could have been, from childhood, it could have been abuse or neglect or embarrassment or disappointment or failure or ridicule or teasing. We suffer from regrets or lack of belief, or there may have been a loss somewhere along the line. And then sometimes something will happen and there's a trigger that takes us back there emotionally, not physically, emotionally. And we have a tendency to relive that experience time and time again without realizing that we're reliving it. Okay. So I say that to say sometimes people are, we're on a roll. Things are just going along great. And all of a sudden we just stop. It's as if the car ran out of gas. But there's an indicator that lets you know that, hey, and normally it's working, but we didn't pay attention to it. So we're now on the highways, we've run out of gas. And we want to blame everybody but ourselves if we're not, quote, paying attention to what's happening around us. Now, let me see if I can say this a different way. We can be aware of, cognizant of a lot of stuff that's happening around us, but we have to maintain focus. We have to keep our eyes on the prize, what's important to us, because we're so easily distracted. And sometimes, like I said, it was Thanksgiving. I knew I should not have had that extra spoon of macaroni and cheese. I know I shouldn't have had the extra candied yams or that slice of coconut pie. I know I shouldn't have. But I let something get in the way of my rational thought. And for a moment, I became slightly irrational. Now, there are those who listen and say, well, I'm not an irrational person. You sure? That's all I ask you. Are you sure? Why is it then that you are stuck in neutral? I can't answer that question. I can only tell you the the road
The road,
that
yeah.
I have traveled, and I've come to realize in life that for most of us, if we were to sit down and basically repace the this our steps on this pathway of life, we will have similar circumstances, similar conditions, similar outcomes, and some of us are standing on the mountain and some of us are still in the valley. So then the question is, why is that Johnny didn't succeed or isn't succeeding? Okay. So with that said, is this a good time? And I ask, is it a good time? Because there are so many things that are happening today that if people aren't paying attention to them, they will get swept along and turn around and go like, man, I didn't see that coming. And some of the things we won't see coming.
Yeah.
But if we're paying attention, we would be influenced by them. And I've been talking about the problem in China for the longest. Okay, the logistics problem, the manufacturing problem. Now they got people in the streets protesting. Okay, if people say, well, it doesn't affect me. Okay, fine. There are people protesting in the country of Iran. There are people protesting in the streets in Russia. There are people protesting in Europe. There are people protesting here in the United States. And the protest here in the United States is folk go into a club and kill folk. And everybody is trying to make an impression or trying to make a difference. And we sit back and we say, well, why is all of that? Well, I think people are hurting. So to the audience, why are you hurting? What's causing you to hurt? And is there something that you can, nope, rewind. Is there something that you will do about it? Because we all can.
Mm-hmm.
The point is, who'll step out on faith?
Wow. Is that really what all this boils down to?
I think it does. But again, I'm an opinionated individual. Okay? When I tell people that I grew up in the segregated South, we didn't have much of anything. I didn't know that at the time. I'm not boasting or bragging. I'm just saying that nobody in my family had ever gone to college. Nobody in my neighborhood had ever gone to college. If they went into the military, they stayed only a couple years. I stayed for 26. There are a lot of things that we all did or were exposed to. And if I go back home now, there are those that I may not recognize, but they call me a big shot. I'm not a big shot. I just did it. Opportunity presented itself. I took a chance on me. I stumbled sometimes. I fell sometimes. And sometimes I had to turn around and go back in the other direction. Okay. But one thing, Leland, I never gave up. So my question to the audience is, why do you keep giving up? Why? You know, opportunities abound. Why are you giving up? Why are you stuck in that dead end job, hating every minute of it? So is this a good time? It's because it's not too late, Leland. And we've talked about this. It's not too late. In fact, the apprenticeship program that we got what, 50 people plus in the program? And of the 50, there are those who have all sorts of excuses. About 10 of them are doing something.
That's true. It makes me laugh, but yeah, that's true.
Okay. And the crazy thing about it is they paid hard-earned money to sit on the sidelines. This is not this is a game.
Life, yeah, I guess, yeah. Like,
You know, okay.
in retrospect.
But they paid money. They're sitting on the sidelines doing absolutely nothing. But they'll tell people, yeah, man, I'm in this program.
Yeah, I don't get it.
And doing absolutely nothing about it, and then complain because somebody else is getting all the street cred. So the question is it a good time? I need to go back and say something. I said cavalierly, I said yes. I really don't know. Because I don't know the circumstances of somebody else. Okay? You and I have a good relationship where we can commiserate. We can talk about stuff. And together, that old cliche, iron sharpens iron, we are able to support one another and give some direction to one another because I trust you and because you trust me. And we have created a symbiotic relationship, a win-win situation whereby, hey, you succeed, I succeed, you succeed. And I'm not worrying about where it's going. The point is, I know it's going because it's going. Okay. So the people that listen, they're still alive. All of the stuff that you've gone through to this point, okay, to this point didn't kill you. So you ask the question, is it a good time? I think it's a fantastic time.
Right.
Okay? It's a fantastic time. So now that it's a good time, now what for you? Okay.
Yep. Yep. So what now? What?
Okay. And there are opportunities. You don't have to worry about it. My son's job let go a whole bunch of folk. And he and I were talking about, like, okay, son, what's up? I said, you have a plan B? He said, yeah, I've done this, that, and the other. He said, but dad, he said, um, I have learned the skills of this operation to a point where nobody can do what I do, and I can do what everyone else does. And he said, and if I have to walk tomorrow, I'll be fine. And I'm sitting there, boy, and I'm saying, this is my 26-year-old son who seems to have a good relationship with circumstances and situations. He said, do I want the business to close? No, I want it because I'm learning a lot. He said, but if the doors close tomorrow, I will be fine. So my question to the audience is, if the doors where you get your paycheck, if the doors to that operation closes tomorrow, what will you do? Because in the final analysis, if it is to be, my philosophy, if it is to be, it's up to me.
Hmm.
For you, if it is to be, it's up to you. You control your life. So I've said some time ago, when in charge,
Take charge.
take charge. And that's all I can say for you today is it a good time? And if you don't see the light of day, we can help you in with certain things, but we cannot help you make a decision.
Whew. That's funny.
I didn't mean to take up all the time, sir, but I
No.
mean, I just because Leland, I get exasperated sometimes with individuals that I can see so much possibility and so much potential in them.
Hmm.
Um, they look the part, they sound the part, they smell the part, they talk the part, and then something happens and then they fall apart.
Hmm. See.
And we don't know the why, but again, I think a lot of the why we fall apart goes back to something that may have happened in our lives. You know, I was teased as a young guy, young. I was teased, and I know what it felt like to be teased. I made certain that my kids did not tease. I said, because if you're teasing and you're laughing, you're cracking jokes, and you're making fun of people today, tomorrow it will be you. Okay. So if you're hanging around with people who are not success minded, you need to turn around and find someone who is success minded. You don't have to compete with them, learn from them. Be humble enough to say, hey, Leland, man, I don't know what it is that you do, but are you willing to sit and have a coffee? I'd like to pick your brain. I'd like to have a conversation with you. Is it a good time to have that conversation? If not today, will you make some time for me? Because oftentimes we are not willing to get out of our own way. And actually, if truth be told, we don't realize that we are the hindrance to our success.
Yeah.
Not somebody else, not our wife, our loved ones, the kids, or what have you. No, we are the reason
Yeah.
that we're not making progress.
Yeah. That's true.
So is now a good time? I don't know. You tell me. What do you want? If you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, then hell, you got to want something. So what do you want? And if you don't know what it is that you want, then you need to take some time out. You need to check out and have a good checkup so you can check into the rest of your life.
Oh my goodness. There are so many things that people need to understand. I'll put it that way. And unfortunately, it's just like, anyway. At the end of the day, here's the thing, and this is all I'm going to say, and we'll part. This will be the parting word. At the end of the day,
Hmm.
if I want to do something new, if I want a new result, it's crazy, but if I want a new or a different result, I have to do something new or different.
Hmm. Hmm.
That's really all it boils down to. If I want something different, I just have to do something different.
Which is, I will have some argument with this, but life is simple. Do, do not. Have not. Simple. But to have, you got to do. And there are people that we deal with constantly who want to have doing what they've always done, which is nothing. And then complain. And when I say nothing, they go to work, but there's no adventure in work. They never let the windows down in their car. They never let the windows up in their house. They back out of the garage, go to work. If work has a garage, they pull into a garage. They go into a building that has no windows open. They come back out. They're falling into this rut. And I learned a long time ago. A friend asked me. He says, "Hank, what is the difference between a graveyard, no, a grave and a rut?" And I looked at him like, this nut's crazy. And I said, a rut's longer. And he said, yeah, but a rut's got the ends kicked out of it. Some of you will catch that. Okay. To have more, you must be willing to do more. Or like Leland said, you have to be willing to do things differently. But
Yeah.
I know, I'm gonna rewind. You must do more. You must do more. And if you're not willing to do more, then I think someone said, and they got in trouble, then shut up and dribble. Basketball, just dribble, play ball. That's all. Dribble. You can't shoot, then dribble. If you can't dribble, sit in the side, sit in the bleachers. I mean, I'm not being hypercritical. I'm just trying to help you to get out of stinking thinking and get out of your way. What's it going to take? If not now, when? If not you, tell me who. If not now, again, when?
That's right. So we'll leave you guys with that thought, and we will chat with you guys in a few.
It's still a good time.